Hey everybody, back in the hangar again. Have some fun stuff planned for today. And by fun stuff, I mean more wiring. I've decided I'm going to try to finish wiring up this panel here, particularly these indicator lights. So there's these indicator lights here. Each of these needs to be wired up to the gear switch. I also have these master caution, master warning lights. These need to be connected to the GEA24. I may install this panel today, we'll see. And I'm also going to finish up the BNC connector that needs to be installed. I brought some connectors today as well. Something I also want to do is take this wiring, well, it looks like it fell. Take the wiring for the fuel flow. So it has this old Molex connector on here, and that's fine on this side, but the other one is actually broken. So I'm just gonna replace this with a new one. I have a new connector that I can use. I'll just crimp those pins into place, and yeah, then we'll have a connection to our fuel flow. The only other thing I have to do sensor-wise is do the OAT sensor. Something else I wanted to get to, if we have the time for that, is to install the stick and start doing a little bit of the wiring for it. I finally brought the screws to secure this thing down. Really, that was the only thing blocking me. I kept forgetting. It's not rocket science. All we need to do is just put some screws into here real quick. After so long, it took me so long to finish this flight stick, but came out super nice, I think. So I grabbed the wrong faceplate. Let me go grab the other. Okay, here is the correct one. One was the spare / a test for the pilot one. This one fits a little bit better, honestly, than the pilot one did. Screw this into place, and that's it. This is the co-pilot one. They don't get any fancy functions like trim. Just because it was too much work, I think, and I don't really expect the co-pilot to ever need it. If they're the connectors I brought today, I have one here. Might be able to use this for the co-pilot stick. I might also wire up one of these for the pilot stick. So the pilot one definitely won't fit because there's just too many contacts, but what I can do is, I think what they did before is they ran out the wires here and then connected them. So I might need to extend a lot of those wires. So I like to reduce, reuse, and recycle. I have this wire that we removed previously from the aircraft. It's just some twisted 22 gauge wire we can use to hook up here. And actually for this co-pilot stick, it doesn't matter. I know these are labeled red and black, but it doesn't actually matter which of these is ground and which of these is the signal, because this is just a simple switch that connects these two wires together when you press it. So it doesn't actually matter which of these is the signal and which of these is ground. So we can just use white wire unlabeled. It doesn't really matter. For the pilot stick, it's going to matter a little bit more because I have a more complicated wiring setup there, but we can just solder this onto place. I could use crimps, but soldering is just so easy to do, and I'm quite good at it. So yeah, we had some heat shrink tubing. I'm gonna go grab. Forgot to put my heat shrink tubing on. Great. Magical juice flux. Without it, all my soldering would suck. Really hate soldering copper sometimes because it just absorbs this heat like nothing else. It's nobody's business. Brand of solder sucks. They have this other one that flows really well. I wonder what's the difference between the two. Okay, this is on there, but I forgot to put heat shrink tubing on it, which actually shouldn't be a big deal because I can just cover this up with a secondary piece of tubing. Okay, now in theory this should be ready to install. So let's just go ahead and get it on there. Okay, that took a little bit of finagling, but we got this fed through, which is great. Now I can actually do the insertion of this thing. Actually, I just realized something. There's a slight problem. I don't actually know when this is bottomed out, but luckily I can measure, I think, the height of the other one and the height of this stick and sort of backtrack just to make sure this is in there all the way. Because short of taking this plate off, which is sort of a pain, there's no other way to check to see if I've actually pushed down the stick all the way where it's supposed to be. Great, that's on there. I think that's as far as it's gonna go. We just barely went past this hole, so we might just drill a new one. I might see about drilling a hole there, but for now we can just install these, wire them up where they need to be. I think it's good enough for now. Now the challenge is going to be getting the pilot stick on there, really, because, well, the pilot stick has a lot more wires, so I think the logistics of getting all those through is going to be a little bit more challenging. Started pouring out of nowhere. some nice clouds in the sky. Looks like I do have one of these braids. We can try fitting these wires through to see if that helps us do the insert a little bit better, and should keep things all neat and tidy. Let's give it a shot. That was sort of tough, but I did manage to get all of these threaded through. So now it's this nice connected thing that we can, I think, more easily pass through the stick where we want it to be. So I'm pretty happy with how that came out. So I don't want to keep sitting here like an idiot. So I think the best way to do this is to just take this stick off real quick so we can get a better access to the tube underneath. Great, we were able to get it through. So our wires run now, and they're all bundled up all nicely so they're not super tangly and in the way. And we can secure this to the flaps handle. There you have it. These two flight sticks are installed. So now we can move on to our wiring stuff. So I got a connector here, and what we want to do is just take these pins, crimp them onto this connector, and I'm also probably going to make a connector for this test as well. And then we will make a connector for this light and this light as well. Also right now, I am wiring up these 3 wires to ground, so I double checked. These are all, I believe, active lows, so they have inputs that come here. And if they are successfully grounded, then the input is active. So there's 3 things we need to ground here. So I was looking at the gear wiring diagram, sort of trying to get an understanding just to see what's going on here. And there's this pressure override switch that I noticed. These contacts are a little bit too close for my comfort. Okay, so I was examining this a little bit more. It looks like there's a little bit more to this test. So this test button here is actually only for testing the lights. So this button actually needs to not go to ground. Here we go. Got this little inline splice here. And essentially what this does is we're gonna supply positive energy to this button so that when you press it, it supplies positive energy to this indicator light. I also was taking a look at the diagram again, and this gear switch was wired up incorrectly. It was wired to the hydraulic test, which it is not supposed to be. It's supposed to be wired directly to the squat switch, among other things. So I'm going to continue to redo some of the wiring here. Additionally, there was a second speaker on the back of the bulkhead there for the gear warning, which I think I'm going to just get rid of because I don't really think that's necessary. I understand why. I saw the wiring for it, and I don't think it's necessary that we need to add that extra weight. So I'm probably going to remove that secondary buzzer. There's already a buzzer inside of the instrument panel, and in addition to that, I'm going to be wiring up a gear warning system on the G3X. So I think that's more than enough. We don't need to, it's going to be sort of a hassle because I cut a couple of the wires that ran to it anyways. So I don't think we need to set that up on the rear bulkhead. I understand why he did it. You know, more is better, but I don't need to do that. So I'm going to wire this gear switch up according to the diagram there. It's going to take me a little bit of time. I don't think we're going to get to anything else today, honestly. I just want to finish wiring up this gear system just because I want to get it right, get it perfect. So I'm just going to continue that. We're first going to wire up this gear switch where it needs to go. And yeah, I got to figure that out. So see you guys in a bit, I guess. Thought I'd show you guys a little bit what I'm doing. So I wired up the hydraulic override switch, and I also wired up the gear switch, and I decided to put in the flaps controller, tighten that down as well. I'm not sure if you guys can quite see that super tiny little cutout we just made. That's where this tab will sit. You'll see in a sec. There you have it. It is affixed in place. The tab I was talking about is on the bottom here. Not sure if you can see it. That's the one we just drilled out. And I tightened this down. So this all looks and feels good to me. This is the button. These are our warning lights, our flaps, and our gear indication lights. It looks pretty good to me. Okay, so I did a little bit more of the wiring here. I decided to get rid of one of these connectors that runs back here. So this one actually runs to the hydraulic pump, and there was one that also was for one of the speakers. And something I didn't really like about this setup either was this was also used to tie in a bunch of stuff for the actual power. And it's just really confusing to have a bunch of wires routed from the speaker to our circuit breakers, which that just really isn't necessary from my understanding. There it is, it's been removed, and our wiring is more straightforward for it. Great. You know, actually, I took a closer look at this, and I took a look at the circuit here, and it looks like they added a dimming circuit. So this actually makes sense, but I don't think it is necessary, to be completely honest with you. I understand why they did it, but to be honest with you, to drill another hole in my panel, I'll think on it a little bit, but I'm fairly certain that removing this was the right choice, and we can just use the lighting bus that we already set up to control the dimming for this. I was also reading through the diagram, and looks like I had a slight misunderstanding. Interestingly enough, these lights aren't actually turned on and off by adjusting the positive voltage going to it. They actually do it based on the ground. Yeah, okay, I think I got it. I think what I'm gonna do is just have a dedicated circuit breaker for the lighting bus, and I'll give that maybe 2 or 3 amps. This says 5 amps because originally they designed the circuit for 12 volts. This is a 28 volt or 24 volt system. So I think I can put a separate circuit breaker in just for the lighting bus, and we can use that to drive these lights here and just have these lights connected, because it doesn't actually matter what positive these are connected to as long as they're connected to positive, because all the logic is controlled via ground. So yeah, we can just do that. I'll just have the lighting bus connect to its own thing. This will be connected to the lighting bus at the end of it. I also have another light. Maybe I could install it and just connect that to the lighting bus as well. Although, okay, great stuff. I got all of these on here. Not sure if you could see. So every single one I labeled earlier is crimped, hooked up to the place where it needs to be. On the outside here is the positive rail, and on the inside there's the grounds. For today, probably, it's getting pretty late, getting pretty chilly actually. I'm gonna double check the diagram just to make sure there's nothing I'm missing. Well, I have 2 holes here, and I don't remember what I put them there for. I think one of them was for a potentiometer. So I was thinking we could put maybe 2 potentiometers here, have one control the overhead lights. One of them can control the dimming for the gear lights. Now this is ready, I think, for the most part, to be brought into the inside of the plane and hooked up. We can do that another day. I think next time I see you guys, I'm probably going to be working on the engine, but I'm glad I got this gear system sort of squared away. I still need to wire up the buzzer for this, but I think this is mostly done. All the hard work has been completed, and all of our overrides and indicators are all wired up and in place where they should be. So I'm really happy with what we were able to accomplish today. And see you guys in the next one. Peace.